In the past 5 years, I've studied the chord patterns written by over 4,500 students of my EDM bootcamp course. And in this study, I've learned that there were 3 main things that the chord patterns written by the most inexperienced producers of the group were missing compared to the pros. In this video, I'm going to show you a couple examples of very NOOB-esque sounding chord patterns that I would likely hear written by one of my inexperienced students. And then I'm going to show you how to implement those 3 things that beginners always miss in their chord patterns that will transform any chord pattern into a nice professional sounding chord pattern. All right, when you're songwriting, always start with a good sound. I'm going to go into my pack Moonwake and grab one of these Lush pads. You could try Moonwake for free in the description below. It's not going to be there for very long at all, so make sure to try it now. That's it. That sound alone will increase your music production game by at least 20%, guaranteed. Alright, let's throw down a set of chords. We'll take an F sharp chord, an A sharp, C sharp, and a G sharp. If I could sum up the sound of chords written by a majority of my inexperienced students, it would sound like those. These are great chords. They sound good. They work, but they're just basic and mediocre and cheesy, and we have to change that. This brings me to my first big thing that beginners are always missing, and that is to give yourself a strong-rooted foundation of your chords. And you can do this by doubling the voice of the root note. So we're going to take the root note of each of these chords, drop down an octave, and just write them again, or duplicate them. That alone is going to give us a fuller, stronger sound. Next step in giving these chords a facelift is to revoice the upper harmonics of the chords. What this will allow us to do is give us a chance to come up with something better or something that's not in root form. My number one goal every time I write a set of chords is to do what I gotta do to get them out of root form. So here we have a lot of these harmonics that are sticking over top of where a majority of the notes are in my chords. So I want all of my chords to move together as best they can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that harmonic down an octave, that one down an octave, and that one down an octave. So now my chord notes are all a bit more tucked in. That was nice, but I don't like the sound of this harmonic. I think we could tuck this one in too. That sounds good. The final biggest thing that beginners always seem to miss is adding accent notes on some of your chords so that you can help enhance them. Accent notes are one of those things that aren't always going to work, but it's worth a try if it could get you closer to a better sound. You can use any note you want as your accent notes, but my favorite way to do it is try to get the tonic note or the root note of the scale to run through the entire chord pattern because that helps bring out the emotion of the chords. So in my case, I'm in C sharp. That's what scale I'm in. So I'm going to hit this note here and this note here because we actually already have 2 notes that press that tonic. That's pretty. That's pretty. But I think it sounds better without them. Now let's listen to the chords before we dress them up. And this is what we ended up with. game over.
Try Moonwake for free below.
Moving on to example number 2. We got an A, G, F, and C chord. Step 1, I'm going to take the root note and double that root note. The sound of this note alone is prompting me to just take these and move them up an octave. That's all part of revoicing. That sounds better. Step 2 is to revoice the high harmonics of these chords. I'm going to take these two notes here. Mind you, this is all trial and error. I'm going to take these two notes here and pull them down an octave to see if I could get something nicer. That sounds so much better. All my notes are tucked in. It's looking nice and linear. This brings me to my final step, which is adding accent notes. Something unique about these chords is that none of these chords share any tones. Every chord has a complete new set of notes that it hits, which is different from our last set of chords where every chord change shared a note. What this means is that I can use that root note of the scale that we're in, which is C major in this case, and run it all the way through the chords, and it should sound good. And not only that, but it'll help hold the emotion of the chord pattern together, and we'll get this sound. That was hot. Here's the chords before the facelift. And here's the chords after the facelift. Those were the 3 biggest things that beginner producers always seem to miss in their chord patterns. If you would like to learn more about every element of music production and not just the chords, check out my EDM Bootcamp course at the top of the description below. My course is not just a course that teaches you every element of music production, but it's also an entire backend mastermind group where you can send me your music for unlimited track feedback. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.